The honourable member for Kelowna Lake Country.
Well, Mr. Speaker, after 8 years of this Prime Minister, Canadians have never found it so hard just to keep a roof over their heads. Rent increases have gone up at a record pace, and the national average is now over $2,000 a month. Young adults are finding it virtually impossible to pay these rents, and families are being squeezed. When will the Liberals reverse their inflationary policies that are driving up inflation and making it harder for everyday people to even just stay in their homes?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, if the Conservatives really believed in supporting those Canadians who are having the hardest time paying their rent, they should have supported our plan to give those people $500 to help. But you know what else, Mr. Speaker? The best way to pay your rent and to pay your mortgage is to have a job. And that is why our government has been relentlessly focused on job creation. 100,000 jobs created in December alone. Today, we have recovered 121% of the jobs lost to COVID, compared to just 106% in the United States.
The honourable member for Kelowna Lake Country.
Well, Mr. Speaker, rental inflation is up 12%. Food inflation is up more than 11%. Any of these government's programs will just get evaporated. We know that the former governor of the Bank of Canada said that Canada's inflation was homegrown, and the current governor said that inflation is as high as it is because of all of this spending that these Liberals have done, all of the extra spending. So after 8 years, when will the Liberals finally get their inflationary spending under control?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
You know, Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives continue to talk down the Canadian economy. That is reckless and that is irresponsible. We know Canadians need support, and that is why we have a plan which is compassionate, but it is also fiscally responsible, Mr. Speaker. That is why just hours after we tabled the fall economic statement, Moody's reaffirmed our AAA credit rating. Canada has the lowest deficit in the G7, the lowest debt to GDP ratio, and in 2022, Canada had the strongest economic growth.
The honourable member for Mégantic-L'Érable. After 8 years of this Prime Minister, despite the fine words and promises to the middle class, the fact is Canadians are suffering more and more. I visited food banks in Lac Mégantic, Thetford Mines, Disraeli, Plessisville, and Princeville, and what I saw broke my heart. Seniors and families can no longer make ends meet. There's been an almost 30% increase in people who can't afford to pay for food anymore. That's the record of this government, this Liberal government, after 8 years. Does the Prime Minister not realize that what he's done has pushed more and more people to the food